All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. This is the brother Kratazah from the GMS Nebraska camp, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This lesson being entitled "The Beauty of the Kingdom of Heaven." All right, and this is a picture I came across on social media, and man, just the idea that this picture is conveying, it really resonated with me. Lord, as well, you're seeing it, and it also, resonates within you as well. It's depicting, the kingdom of heaven. It's kind of going off. Got that might be a woman. I thought that might be a guy with long hair, but that's clearly a woman. But um, besides that, man, just like I said, the overall idea, you know, of us being in the kingdom and the kingdom of righteousness. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Proverbs 29:2, it says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn." There's not going to be mourning in our kingdom. Well, Esau's going to mourn in our kingdom, but but you know, Jake, the elect and the children of the elect, they're going to rejoice. The other nations, they're going to rejoice because they're no longer going to be under the thumb of the so-called white man. They're no longer going to be in danger of a new world order and being forced to, take a sea hip. You know, being forced in a 15-minute city or a concentration camp or killed because you don't want to go with their agenda. You know, the nations are going to have to go through that anymore. So they're going to rejoice when the men of the Lord set this place in its proper order. So let's get this St. John's chapter 14 and verse 3. It says, "And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you also into myself, that where I am, there ye may be also." So the Lord has a place prepared for us, right? What does the scripture say? The kingdom is prepared. Just watch. Give me a second here. This is Second Ezra chapter 2 and verse 13. It says, "Go and ye shall receive, pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch." So we have to just continue to pray, continue to develop in this truth, endure in this truth, and the Lord is going to sup with us. The Lord is going to take us where we need to be. All right, which eventually is going to be this kingdom of heaven. All right. Um. So, who is going to the kingdom of heaven? So let's get this straight. Um. Matter of fact, let me grab another scripture real quick. Um. This is Zechariah chapter 13, starting at verse 8. It says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third part shall be left therein." Right? So two parts are going to be cut off and die, and that one part is going to still be there. All right, that 1/3 of the nation of Israel, the elect. All right, they are the ones who are primed for salvation. All right, it says, "And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name. I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power." Right. So now that we know that there's going to be a separation, that the people depicted in this picture are the 1/3, okay, 33333, you know, of the nation of Israel, and then 666 will be destroyed, and they will have to come back uh, through these people's loins, right? Because no one's gonna be completely destroyed. All right, there is no hell. All right, when the 2/3 of our people die here in America, they're going to be born again in the kingdom, right? In righteousness with the law written in our inward parts. All right. So now that we know who these people are, let's just get a little background on them. Uh, yeah, we'll get this real quick. This is Revelation 21:4. It says, "And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there should be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." Right. So in the kingdom, it's going to be totally different. You know, we're not going to have to go through these things that we're going through now. Right. The Lord said that He's going to wipe away our tears. There's going to be no more sorrow, nor crying, nor death. You know, we're going to have immortal bodies. We're going to live forever in righteousness. It's going to be so beautiful. You know, so that's what the people are going to be doing. But Slaki, I should have got the other scripture first on exactly who it is, right? So this is Revelation 7:4. It says, "And I heard a number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. The tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin was still 12,000. And after this, lo, I behold, no man, with it's like a great multitude which no man can number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes and palms in their hands. Right. So this is speaking of the elect, or 12,000 from each tribe, making up the prophets, the men of the Lord, the ones who are signing, crying for the abominations that are done in the midst thereof. And then you have that great multitude, which no man can number, which are the people who follow the doctrine, are the men, women, and children, all right, who are writing for Yahweh Yahweh Shai. All right, it says that they were uh, clothed in white robes with palms in their hands. So let's jump to Second Esdras. Um, Second Esdras chapter 2 and verse 44 says, "So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? And he answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms." It's those same people who are receiving palms, right? It says, "Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crowneth them, and that giveth them palms in their hands? And so he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then I began to greatly commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord." Remember, going back to um, in Matthew's, we read that the Lord had a place prepared for us, and He was going to meet us there, right? So the Lord is going to be the one who is, crowning the elect. He's going to be the one, um, putting the palms in their hands. It's going to be a beautiful sight, man, to be crowned by the King of the Kings as a king. You know, the scripture says, well, let's get it. What does the scripture say? Bear with me. This is John 14:2. It says, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go and prepare a place for you." Slakia. There's many mansions. This is just a depiction. This could be a house. This could be just a gate. It could be a temple. It could, who knows? But it's just is the idea, like I said, of rest being given. Um, Second Esdras 8:52, it says, "For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, cleanliness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom." You know? So going back to that John 14, the Lord has many mansions, and He has prepared a place for us where rest is allowed, right? Where it's gonna be did I get that scripture? Yeah. Here in the second Ezra 8, right? So where rest is allowed, you can't rest in this place. You got to get up and go to work Monday through Wednesday or Monday through Friday. They work you like a dog and pay you every 2 weeks. Somebody doesn't show up. Now you working twice as hard for the same amount of money. You have to behold grievousness. It's Pride Month. That's a disgrace, an abomination within itself. But this is the society that we live in. This is the shit that we got to take, man. It's not going to be so in the kingdom of heaven. All right, the Most High is going to put this place right side up. All right, and it's going to turn them upside down, but it's going to be right side up. All right, so let's get this. Is 1 Corinthians 2:9. It says, "But as it is written, I have not seen nor ears heard, neither have entered into the hearts of men the thing which the Most High had prepared for them that love Him." So as beautiful as this depiction is, we really can't even quantify or understand how beautiful the kingdom of heaven really is going to be. So when you see this depiction, let's just break down the depiction, and we'll end it with that. It's a rundown, so I'll go ahead and read. Slakia. This is Revelation 21 and verse 10. It says, "And he carried me away in the spirit into a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High, having the glory of the Most High in her light. And her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, as clear as crystal. And it had a wall, great and high, and it had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which were the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel." Notice it keeps giving that vibration of 12. Where are all the other nations in this? Why are there 12 gates and 12 foundations and 12 angels to represent the 12 tribes of Israel? Where's everyone else at? Right? So it says, verse 13, "On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the name of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he that talked with me had a golden reed, and measured the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs, and the length and the breadth and the height of it are all equal. And he measured the wall thereof, and 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is of the angel." Right, so it's going to be a perfect shape, perfect square. 144,000 cubits. That's just beautiful, man. It says in the building of the wall, and the building of the wall of it was jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. Let's see. You know, that's what a jasper stone looks like. So imagine that. That's dope. It says, let me read that again. It says, and the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. So imagine like the wall being this color, and everything else is being pure gold, man. Esau got all that gold that he stole from the nations. Matter of fact. The total amount of gold ever mined is estimated to be around 216,265 tons, with the World Gold Council estimating that 190,040 metric tons are accounted for. 190,040 metric tons. That's a lot of gold. That's a lot of gold. So how much? Let's get regular numbers, right? So 190,040 metric tons. Geez, so let me see. So we put a comma here and put a comma here. So this is just like stored in banks around the world and whatnot. 418,966,486 pounds of gold, just stored in these various countries around the world that Esau is controlling. So when you ask the question, how are we going to make a city of gold? That seems to be enough gold right there. That's not even including new gold that hasn't been mined or brought from out of the ground. All the hard work is already done for us. All right, so let's jump back here. Revelation 21:19 says, and the foundations of the wall were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, and the second sapphire. So let's look at sapphire. This beautiful blue stone. So imagine that red with the blue. It says in the third Chalcedony. Let's look it up. And the fourth was emerald. So let's look up. That's beautiful. These are all the stones that the kingdom are gonna, be made out of. It's gonna be just beautiful, man. Just beautiful. That emerald. That beautiful, bright, brilliant green color. It says in the fifth sardonyx. Just dope. Just dope, man. And the sixth sardis. And that same red color. And 7, chrysolite. Wow, that like pearl green color. That's dope. And the 8th beryl, that should be a green color as well. Yeah, that's dope. It says in the 9th topaz, and this is where they get the birthstones from. You know, there's blue topaz, but I believe it's speaking about this yellow topaz. There's different kinds of variations for each stone, but like I said, this is where they you know it's not all one for one, but it's pretty much the energy that they're given. It says in the 10th, Crystal Surpassus. I can barely pronounce that. So another green color stone. And the 11th, Jacinth. That's the brilliant red color. These are the foundations, man. It's just dope. And the 12th, amethyst. Dope purple stone. This is what we have to look forward to. It says in the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as if it were transparent glass. So you could see yourself, see your reflection within the street. And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. So Salaki, I said that could be the temple. There is going to be no temple in the kingdom. There's going to be no need for a temple because the Lord's going to dwell among us. So I did misspeak about that. Salakia for that. But yeah. So that's really all I wanted to get. Just a little bit more to this. I could read a little bit more. It says in verse 23, it says, "And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it, for the glory of the Most High did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor unto it." So yeah, they're gonna bring the best of the best to us. Okay, there's gonna be no need for us to manually work or to do anything. We're gonna judge the world, and they're gonna bring the forces of the Gentiles. They're gonna bring the best of the best to us as an offering. Verse 25 it says, "And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there." That's just gonna be dope, man. Lord's will, we get to experience this, what I'm saying, firsthand as soon as possible. And, we get the hell up out of this place. But, we're on the Most High's time schedule, not mine. So, with that being said, but stay strong and endure to the end. Keep fighting the good fight. And I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakar giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, and the men and women who follow. Shalom.